Welcome, everyone, to the NoDQ.com live recap of Friday Night Smackdown for May 16th, 2025. Shout out to everybody watching this, whether it's live or on demand. I appreciate your viewership and support. We have Money in the Bank coming up soon. A few qualifying matches are happening. There were 2 on this show, and then there will be 2 more next week. We also had a couple of matches set up for Saturday night's main event. Let's talk about it. We opened up the show with some footage from Backlash. We had the arrivals, and then we had Solo Sikoa and his new group. Not sure if they're the Bloodline anymore or just Solo's crew. Solo Sikoa, along with the United States champion, Jacob Fatu, and Jeff Cobb, who is now just known as JC Mateo. That is his name moving forward. We had Solo talking about how he was going to take back everything that they lost by winning Money in the Bank and bringing the world title back to the family. He started to use Jacob Fatu's catchphrase. Jacob Fatu did not appreciate that, and things got a little bit heated between the two of them. Solo wanted Jacob Fatu to say he loved him, but with passion, and he even touched Fatu. Fatu took off his glasses. It looked like we were going to get a fight with these guys, but then LA Knight showed up with a little ambush attack, got a shot in on JC, formerly Jeff Cobb. I'm surprised they just don't call him JC. They can put out I Believe in JC t-shirts. They probably will. Segment was fine. Set up some stuff for later in the show. Then we had our first match of the evening. Alexa Bliss versus Michin versus Chelsea Green. Triple threat, Money in the Bank qualifying match. Before the match got started, B-Fab gave a little pep talk to Michin. It was also stated that the Secret Hervis were banned from ringside, even though in triple threats, isn't it no DQ? I don't know. Anyways, good match here with the 3 of them. Chelsea was thrown out of the ring. Michin and Alexa went at it for a while, but then they started fighting. Then Chelsea Green took advantage of that. Michin was able to counter the Unpretty Her with the Eat the Feet, but Bliss broke up the pin, and then Bliss came off the top with the Twisted Bliss to Michin. Chelsea, though, threw out Alexa and hit the Unpretty Her on Michin to try and steal the win, but then Alexa got back in, took out Chelsea with the Sister Abigail, and she picked up the 1-2-3 victory. Alexa Bliss officially qualifies for Money in the Bank. Good stuff here. Good match. Next up, we had Fraxiom versus DIY tag team match. Really good stuff here. This was even a better match than the triple threat. Fraxiom, they don't miss, and DIY, when they're on, they're on. Very good match here with these 2 teams. Competitive. Fraxiom with their hot start. But then Axiom was going for this springboard move, but Gargano was grabbing the rope, and that allowed DIY to get the upper hand. And then after the commercial break, everybody was in there trying to get the win. Crowd was chanting, "This is awesome," as all 4 men went at it. Fraxiom did the superplex kick brainbuster combo. Ciampa, though, was able to save Gargano using his exposed knee. And then Ciampa tried to pull off Axiom's mask. That did not work. Axiom was able to regroup, and Axiom ended up pinning Gargano out of nowhere for the victory. But then immediately after the match, DIY attacked Fraxiom. Motor City Machine Guns ran down and went after DIY and were able to make the save. Fraxiom, I believe now 4-0 on SmackDown. And then backstage, the Street Profits, the tag team champions, congratulated them and also said they already went to Nick Aldis, the general manager. And next week, Fraxiom will get their tag team title opportunity. We'll see if Fraxiom can make it 5-0 or will they come up short against the tag team champions. That is next week on SmackDown. We then had Andrade wishing Rey Fenix luck in the Money in the Bank qualifier. Solo's crew was looking for LA Knight. We had a sit-down interview with RTruth and Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett was asking about John Cena. RTruth said that Cena did win the match on his own at Backlash against Randy Orton. And then they brought up the attack when Cena put RTruth through a table at the press conference. RTruth said that wasn't the real John Cena, and he doesn't want to fight John, but if he has to beat some sense into him, he will do it. And it was officially confirmed, as rumored, Saturday night's main event, John Cena versus RTruth. I don't really think we needed a match with them. It's a little bit of a filler for John Cena. Just something to do, a little call back to all their history, all the times that RTruth has done the John Cena moveset. No John Cena on the show, by the way. No Randy Orton either. But we did get a confirmation Saturday night's main event. I suspect Cena will just beat the hell out of RTruth, and then maybe Cody Rhodes finally returns. We'll see. Next up, we had a video package from Damian Priest, and he officially challenged Drew McIntyre to one more match at Saturday night's main event, and this will be a steel cage match. I guess the Sin City street fight wasn't violent enough. They're going to do a cage match. We then had Aleister Black versus Carmelo Hayes with The Miz out there at ringside. Solid match here with these two. Miz was interfering during the match, grabbing at the foot of Aleister Black. And Miz also threw Carmelo in the ring when Black was going for a moonsault to the outside. However, Aleister was able to stay in it. It was back and forth. And then Miz got knocked off the apron. Aleister went for the Black Mass, but then the Miz attacked Black, causing a disqualification. And then Black was laid out with the nothing but net. So we got a DQ here. It is what it is. Match was good. Finish was what it was. Then backstage, we had Alexa Bliss talking to Charlotte Flair. And Charlotte was praised by Alexa. Alexa said Charlotte was actually nice to her in NXT, but Charlotte said she didn't remember any of that. Then we had Julia coming out of the locker room, which was Nick Aldis's office, I guess. And it was confirmed that Julia is officially part of the SmackDown brand. She's been on Raw the last few weeks. She was teaming up with Roxanne, but now she's on her own and she's part of SmackDown. We'll see what happens with that. I think it's a good move. I mean, I think Julia would have done well on either brand. She's definitely a top-tier talent, so they're fast-tracking her to the main roster. I'm cool with that. And happy early birthday, Calvin Bowman. Shout out to Calvin. We had Drew McIntyre come into the ring to hype up his cage match with Damian Priest. He said he's been trying to get rid of Priest for months. Priest is obsessed with him. And then McIntyre said at Saturday night's main event, one man will be walking out and one man will be leaving on a stretcher. He better be right about that one. You know, you hype up something like that, somebody better leave in a stretcher if you really want to sell the brutality of a cage match. You know, they could do something good here and just have a straight up cage match. No shenanigans or outside interference. Clean finish. Both guys nearly beat the hell out of each other to the bitter end, to near death. And maybe both of them get stretchered out. Like they should really put over this cage match as something brutal that actually settles a feud. I'm not exactly going to hold my breath for that one, though. I will say that much. We had Solo Sikoa versus Jimmy Uso versus Rey Fenix in another Money in the Bank qualifying match. You had Solo wanting an alliance with his brother, but Jimmy was having none of it. And Fenix came in, did some of his flashy moves, but then Solo caught him with a spinning solo, and then Solo hit the spinning solo to Jimmy on the announce table, and Solo was in control for a while, but then Jimmy super kicked Solo. However, Rey rolled up Solo, and Jimmy had to break up the pin, and then Jimmy speared Fenix. Fenix kicked out, and then we had the interference. Jacob Fatu on the apron, and that allowed Solo to take out Jimmy with the spike, and then JC got on the other apron, other side of the ring, and Fenix was able to try to avoid being distracted, but of course, Solo took him out with the Solo spike and got the 1-2-3 victory. So the outside interference worked out, and Solo Sikoa advances to Money in the Bank. Match was solid. Kind of a stupid babyface moment with the interference, but you know that's typical WWE. And then after the match was over, LA Knight showed up again. LA Knight had a steel chair, but Nick Aldis then showed up and said that there was going to be a singles match on the spot. LA Knight versus JC. So we had Jeff Cobb's first official match in WWE. Crowd wasn't that into it, even though they were cheering for LA Knight, maybe because JC's a newcomer. Match was all right. Nothing too special. JC was dominant for a good part of it, working over LA Knight, and then LA Knight would eventually be able to build up some momentum, but he kept getting distracted. And then at one point, he goes for a springboard crossbody, takes out Solo and Fatu, and then gets back in the ring, where he tries to do a slingshot into the ring, but he's caught. JC power slams him and gets the 1-2-3 victory. Another stupid babyface moment. What can I say? JC wins. LA Knight's an idiot, allowing himself to be distracted. He's a veteran, too. He should know better. So, yeah, JC wins, which he should be winning his first match. I guess he had to do some sort of interference. I always prefer when they do distraction finishes, I always prefer when, you know, one guy gets on the apron and then the other guy just hits the opponent with the chair, something like that, rather than the guy who's in the match, the babyface is looking around and then turns around and gets beat. You know, I'm not a big fan of that. It just makes them look stupid. Backstage, we had Santos Escobar talking to Angel Garza. Santos said he would forgive Berto for what happened last week on SmackDown. I already forgot what happened. You know, they're not getting along, and Angel wants Berto back home. Don't really care about this storyline, I have to say. We had, JC had Solo's music. They haven't come up with music for him just yet. Nakamura is still around. There was a little video package for him, and there will be a triple threat next week. LA Knight versus Aleister Black versus Nakamura. I could see interference, something happening there. Nakamura is probably not winning, but not really sure if it'll be LA Knight or Aleister Black. I guess it depends. Will Carmelo interfere or will Solo's group interfere? Wouldn't shock me if one or both of those entities interfere next week. Then we had Jade Cargill telling Tiffany Stratton that she's coming for that title, and Tiffany said she's always ready. And we had our main event of the evening, Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax. Pretty good main event here with these two. Although I wasn't all that into it in the beginning. They did pick it up towards the end. Nia delivered the hip attack to Tiffany into the ring post, then did this avalanche Samoan drop, went for another hip attack, but missed and hit the post. And then Tiffany started to make a comeback. She took down Nia with a top rope crossbody and a spine buster, but Nia kicked out. Then both women were down, and Naomi showed up with a steel chair. She was going to interfere, but then Jade Cargill ran down, and she attacked Naomi, getting her out of there, eliminating her from the match, being able to interfere. So it was back to one-on-one, and then Nia took Tiffany to the outside. By the way, Tiffany did hit the prettiest moonsault, but Nia kicked out, and then Nia gave Tiffany the Samoan drop on the announce desk, got her back in the ring, went for the Annihilator, but Tiffany caught her and was trying to power bomb her out of the corner, but couldn't do it. And then Nia did hit the Annihilator, and they got me with this near fall. I thought for a split second Nia was winning the title, but Tiffany managed to get her hand on the rope for the break. And then Nia, she was frustrated. She put the title belt in the ring so the referee would grab it. And then Nia tried to use a steel chair, but then Tiffany kicked the chair into her face. And then Tiffany got rid of the chair, came off the top with the prettiest moonsault ever, and got the 1-2-3 victory. I thought it was a pretty strong main event. Tiffany looked really good here. I enjoyed that. And that was SmackDown. That was the end of the show. SmackDown was definitely a wrestling-heavy show this week. It did lack some star power. No John Cena, no Randy Orton, no Cody Rhodes still. But a lot of the younger guys got to shine on the show. And they did set up Saturday night's main event stuff and Money in the Bank. It was a pretty solid SmackDown. And if you like the wrestling-heavy shows, I would recommend this one. To me, a little bit light on the heavy wrestling angles. Like I wanted some happenings. You know, it was a good wrestling show, but I think that if you did skip it, you wouldn't miss too much storyline-wise. So for that, I give it a 6 out of 10. I enjoyed the wrestling on it. I would have liked some more interesting storylines and maybe some more star power on the show, but nonetheless, I did enjoy the show overall. And we'll see what happens next week, and if SmackDown goes back to 2 hours. I still think it's too long. You know, it definitely drags, especially in that third hour. I'm just ready for it to be over. But thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I appreciate it. And stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest. And of course, we do have Double or Nothing coming up, and I will be doing live coverage of that. That is Memorial Day weekend. Stay tuned for that. Have a great weekend, everybody. Take care. Say yes to NoDQ.com, and I will see you all next time.